Okay, I'm joined by Martin Jacques, whose book, When China Rules the World, is just being published, and he's about to speak to a packed great room. So Martin, just a couple of questions. The book contains a distinction between that notion of a nation state and a civilization state. What's at the core of that distinction?
That the Chinese essentially think of themselves not as a nation, or primarily in terms of a nation, but primarily in terms of a civilization. And actually, nationhood in the modern sort of Western sense of the term has only been used for a century, whereas they think of, well, actually the Chinese will tell you that they are 5,000-year-old civilization, but certainly it's true that for 2,000 years they've been essentially a civilization state.
Right. And it seems to me that the kind of discussion that's been taking place around China for the last few years, in some ways the responses to your book, seems to centre on this a dichotomy between those who say China will change the world and those who say the world will change China. Is that a kind of right way of understanding the problem, or the difference here?
I think that's a nifty way of putting it. And I think that both, of course, are true. There's some element of truth in both of them. But my proposition is more fundamental than that. I think that the world we'll move into with the growing ascendancy of China is one that is shaped by China to an extent which makes it unfamiliar and no longer a Western world.
So the really big historical change we're about to see is to do fundamentally with China changing the destiny of the world, and whilst there will have to be change in China, its fundamental kind of values, way of being, will survive its ascendancy.
Exactly. Just like the same that's happened with every leading power. When the United States became the global hegemon in the second half of the 20th century, or Britain became dominant from the late 18th century, early 19th century, didn't lose its characteristics. Of course, some changed and so on, but it still was recognisably what it was, and China will still be recognisably what it has been in its history. Indeed, because of this sort of very, very grand history, which the Chinese are extremely conscious of, I don't think there's any chance that it'll dispense with much of that.
Martin Jacques, thank you.
Thank you.